Hello, thank you for joining us again for our weekly COVID-19 update here in Davie County. I'm John Eller, and we have a great lineup of speakers for you today. We have our weekly Emergency Operations Center folks here on the phone, and they'll all give their updates. We also have a weekly guest to talk about community resources that are available. And this week we'll hear from Smart Start of Davie County. And we appreciate all that, again, our citizens and our communities doing to rally around each other during this time, and appreciate all the love and support that has come from everyone, from citizens who are volunteering to help their communities, to churches that are volunteering in their communities, to nonprofits that are working tirelessly to help others, and all of our governmental staff as well. It is noticed, it's intentional, and you've helped so many people. So thank you for the work that you continue to do. On behalf of the county commissioners and Assistant County Manager Robin West and myself, I'd like to welcome everybody. And we'll go ahead and get started with this week's episode. Our first thing that we want to talk to everybody about today is something that I know Suzanne Wright with Health and Human Services has worked on. We've been working with the Chamber of Commerce on a Smart Restart initiative. There's a lot of information on the web link that you see in front of you. That web link is something that was created by our Health and Human Services Department and the Chamber of Commerce as the state experiences the different phases that we're going through and the reopening strategies. There's a lot of good nuggets in here to help our small businesses and any business actually about the safety precautions to just be thinking about as it relates to the mitigation of COVID-19. So we hope you'll find this resource helpful to you, but please go to the Chamber website that's listed in front of you and get more information about it. We thank all those who contributed to that, and we thank our partnership with the Chamber and also our Health and Human Services leadership for their work on this. So we'll go ahead and jump into our first section of the weekly update here with Ms. Gina Taylor. Gina is the Executive Director of our local Smart Start of Davie County. And we wanted to invite her this week because we know how critical childcare is to all of our working families, but also right now more than ever, in the midst of all this, people who are not only trying to maintain work, but who are looking to obtain work, and how important it is not only from birth to 5 and childhood development, but also the importance that childcare plays in those who are seeking employment. So Gina, we thank you for what you and your staff do. I'm going to turn it over to you just to kind of tell us about what's happening in the world of Smart Start right now.
Sure, Mr. Eller, thank you so much for having me. And I'd also like to thank 2 other folks that are on this call. Mr. Eller, Mr. Wallace, and Ms. Wright are all 3 serving on the Smart Start of Davie County Board. So thank you for your support and for all that the county agencies are doing to support young children and all of our citizens. I'll get started with Smart Start of Davie County is in every county in our state, and we've served Davie County for 22 years. Briefly, I'd just like to share who we serve so I can talk a little bit more about our programs. So the folks that we serve, many folks do not realize our support system for parents and teachers. We serve children birth to 5. We serve infant toddler teachers, preschool teachers, child care directors. We support those child care centers, all 18 of those in our county. And there's been 7 of those centers who have continued to stay open during COVID-19. And we are working very diligently to help them with resources that they need. For our programs, we have made many adjustments to those and have been busier than ever. We have a family support program and we do home visiting. Of course, our home visiting has been halted during COVID, but we are doing virtual visits with families of young children as opposed to going into their homes. There has been a lot of rich discussion in these virtual home calls and phone calls that we've had with families. We do have a waiting list. If there's anyone out there that would like to have family support, please give us a call or go on our website. You can also email us at info@daviesmartstart.org. We currently have an opening for a parent educator, but we are going to fill that position as soon as we can get certifications available. Those certifications are on hold due to COVID since they are in person. We do have nurturing parenting classes that will gear back up in the fall. This is a 10-week parenting class that we will offer to families. If it's not safe to do those face-to-face in the fall, then we'll be looking at alternative options for virtual meetings. And we do have some tablets that we'll be able to provide participants. Our biggest issue, if anyone in the county is able to help us, is internet access. A lot of our families are having limited data use, and we're really working diligently to solve this issue of how we can get internet access to all of these families. There's one hotline that I'd like to share with families. I believe that Mina shared this from the Wellness Center last week. Hope for Healers is a free emotional support line for families and child care providers on the front lines, and that number is 919-226-2002, and Hope for Healers information is also on our Smart Start website. We are working very closely with child care educators. I just got off a call with all of the directors for the child care facilities that are open right now. And Smart Start agencies across the state are working to be liaisons for those centers to help them find cleaning supplies. We're struggling finding thermometers. All of these centers are having to screen every child that enters the building on a daily basis. And so we are trying to get them thermometers so that they can quickly help service those families and get the parents onto work as they come into the centers. We are collecting cleaning supplies such as Clorox bleach, hand sanitizer. We have 2 centers that desperately need hand soap right now. We're also looking at trying to find more masks, especially not for teachers to wear during the day, but for those teachers to wear that are screening the children as they come in. Some of our centers just are in need of basic needs, toilet paper, etc. So if anyone would like to make a donation, you can do that at our office, 1278 Yadkinville Road. We have a box outside to collect those supplies. And just for information, our network is very concerned about the child care industry and sustainability for these centers. They are all going through decreased enrollment. But their hearts are huge to take care of these children, and we just want to make sure that we can help them sustain their business so that our workforce can get back to work and we have a place for those children to go. There's another hotline for emergency child care. If anyone is looking for emergency child care, please call 1-888-600-1685. And they will connect you to parents. You're also welcome to call our office as well. Moving on to my last slide, I'd like to share that we have a ton of information on our website for parents, for child care providers. We're offering information about kindergarten registration, NC pre-K registration. I just understand that there's summer camp information at Central Davie. All of this information is on the Davie County Schools website as well. I just heard from Central Davie Preschool that they are offering a full day and half day camp starting June 15th through August 7th for children under 5 years old. And then lastly, our resource library, it is closed to the public right now due to the stay order, but we will reopen by appointment for those families that may need resources through our center. And lastly, we will be going out into the community since we had to postpone our Kids Fest annual festival, which many of the families in Davie County attend. We are going to deliver over 200 activity kits to children, and that registration will be on our social media, on our Facebook page and Instagram, and on our website as early as tomorrow. So please sign up for those if you are a parent that might like outdoor activities for your children to do this summer. And keep a watch on all of our social media for summer group connections. We've had a coloring contest and lots of other resources available. So please give us a call, 336-751-2113 if you need more information about any resources for young children. Thank you, John. I tried to cram a lot in and keep my time short.
No, we appreciate that, Gina, and thanks to all you do to help support our child care institutions in the county. Like Gina said, we definitely encourage everyone to go look at the social media sites, go to the Smart Start Davie County website. Lots of good information for parents, from ideas about programming to just resources that are available, and we appreciate that information going out. And just another plug and reminder, if you're in need of childcare, the information's in front of you. You can also call the hotline that you heard Gina mention earlier. And if anybody out there hears about the needs that she expressed earlier and is able to help our childcare providers meet those needs, I hope all of you will call Gina and offer up any assistance you have available. So Gina, thanks to all you and those childcare providers and all you continue to do, but not just that, all the programming that all of you do. And we encourage you to let the community know if you have any needs, and let us know. We'll continue to get the word out for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on now to our Davie County Schools update from our superintendent, Mr. Jeff Wallace.
Good afternoon, John. Thank you very much. Guest, thank you. And Gina, thank you for your words that you shared. And I will say that Gina does an outstanding job, her and her staff. And we are concerned about our daycare providers, our children that we are not engaging with each and every day. But we are, I can assure you, with organizations like Smart Start, working hard to reach into homes and meet the needs of families. But folks, it does break my heart to know that we are missing some of our children, but we will continue to work. To a positive note, I'd like to congratulate our early college high school graduates that graduated officially last Saturday with an outstanding ceremony that featured 2 large screen TV, or not TVs by no means, excuse me, large screens that were elevated for guests. We had 2 drones that were flying over videoing. We had speakers were able to be heard or tuned into with a specific FM station. And I want to commend Jenny Pleasant, our marketing and communications officer, and Eddie Green, our WAN engineer in the technology department, and Jack Dodd is a Davie County High School graduate who came back and helped make this work. But great effort to reach out to make it a wonderful ceremony, considering the situation we're dealing with COVID and not being able to gather in large groups. The families and graduates stayed in their cars, and they were called up and allowed to walk across the stage, pick up their diploma, and while families were watching in their cars on the screens, and it was aired, streamed on online as well. And then there was a parade involved where kids were driven and escorted in by law enforcement. So again, thank you to our local law enforcement and fire departments and different groups. That I had shared that we were waiting to gather information from our Davie County High School students, their seniors, regarding graduation. And we did compile the information from a survey. And Davie County High School will graduate on June the 13th. Again, decision was made by majority vote from the students, and their families were obviously involved. We're continuing to work on details, work on a parade from the old high school to the new high school, kind of symbolic, because that's where this class started their career, at the old location. And so we're working on some details that will be similar, but when you had 44 graduates from Davie County Early College, and the high school will have 414 graduates. So quite the difference there in the format and the way it has to be rolled out. But we're working on that. We are working on that. We'll have more information to provide for our community families soon. You started out today, John, talking about the reopening or smart restart, and obviously that's one of the primary things on all superintendents and parents and educators and children across this country, and specifically in Davie County, about what will school look like at the start of next year. We're still working through that. I can tell you that regional superintendents, the PTAC superintendents, are working with a national team, and I'm a part of the regional team to put together a plan. I am in the process of putting together a local team to help us make decisions for what works best for Davie County and Davie County schools. And Suzanne Wright will be a part of this team. Local physician, parents, staff, and other community officials will be called upon to help us as we walk into making decisions to start school next year. We are receiving more information from CDC guidelines. Now, of course, those do change and can change. So our plans that we do put together now will continue to change over the course between now and June and July, and particularly before next August. Again, we are, I've mentioned a couple of times that school will start on August 17th, and we continue to serve our children in the best capacities. We wind down this year, and we're thankful for the opportunity to work and thankful for the opportunity to serve in Davie County. And again, please, if anyone has questions or concerns, please reach out to us and contact us, and we'll do our best to serve you. John, that concludes my comments for today. Thank you for the opportunity.
Jeff, thanks for all you guys continue to do. We appreciate you and your staff, and just getting very creative and in these interesting times. So congratulations to all you're doing to try to make graduation as normal as it can be for our seniors in a very unnormal time. So thank you again for that. We'll transition on now into our Health and Human Services update from our director, Ms. Suzanne Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Eller. The updated COVID-19 case count for Davie County is 56. Again, that's a cumulative total. But I did want to point out that we've had 11 new cases since Sunday, and one of the 11 is hospitalized. There's updated guidance from the state on who should be tested for COVID-19. I know in the beginning, everyone was told to stay at home if they were sick because most would recover at home, and we really wanted to minimize exposure to others. But now the state's asked us to transition to, if you're sick, please reach out to your local testing site and get tested. This information will help us plan for the future. The new guidance recommends that clinicians test anyone with symptoms suggested of COVID-19 and all close contacts of positive cases. Before, close contacts couldn't be tested unless they were symptomatic. Now they're saying, let's test everybody. Testing location sites are now listed on the NCDHHS website, and that's ncdhhs.gov. In Davie, there are 3 sites testing symptomatic and close contacts, and that's Davie County Health Department, Davie Medical Center, and Wake Forest Baptist Urgent Care in Moxville. In addition to these testing sites, many private providers have been and continue to test their symptomatic patients. So your primary care physicians remain an option for testing as well. And finally, it's National EMS Week. So I want to thank our EMS partners for all they do for us on a daily basis. There's no better group to have on your team during a crisis, and I can vouch for that. So thank you for always being there for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Appreciate all you and your nurses, techs, social workers, income maintenance folks, senior services, domestic violence folks, veteran services, the whole gamut. We know all of you are very busy right now and do a lot of work, and sometimes aren't visible to be recognized for the work that you do. So we appreciate y'all very much. We'll transition now into an update from our sheriff, Mr. J.D. Hartman.
Good afternoon, everyone. The operations at the sheriff's office continue as normal. There's really no change there. We have initiated discussions with the senior judges, clerk of court, and district attorney about reopening the courthouse and the court system. I think that will be beginning the first week of June. It will definitely look different than what folks are used to when they come to court. So just be prepared as you come to court for a slowdown, a change, possibly being turned away and not allowed to enter the courtroom unless you actually are the defendant in a case or have personal business in the courthouse. And bear with all of us, district attorneys, judges, law enforcement, and clerks as we maneuver through this reopening phase. Now, that's really all I have, Mr. Eller.
All right, Sheriff, thanks for that quick update. Appreciate all you and your deputies are doing for us. We'll transition now to Mr. Brian Byrd with our Emergency Services Department.
Hey, thank you, John. I appreciate that recognition from Suzanne. This week, the focus for emergency services, especially for emergency management, we've been focusing on supporting efforts by DHHS and by North Carolina Emergency Management to provide 14 days worth of PPE, or personal protective equipment rather, to all of our registered long-term and assisted care facilities in the county. These facilities were contacted by us, and they were able to pick up their supplies in Greensboro yesterday. The so-called push pack of materials for these facilities includes face shields, masks, gloves, and shoe covers. As I've said in the past, each week the supply chain gets a little better for us. Our NC National Guard Air Group is flying continuous missions overseas. They're calling that an air bridge, and they're bringing those supplies back each week. For now, there's no end in sight for the end for these missions, as the need for PPE just keeps going up. At Emergency Services, we're operating in a business as usual posture. Keep an eye on the flooding that's projected for the state between now and Saturday, and we're preparing to respond if we need to. And as Suzanne said, it is EMS week. Since we can't get together like we normally would, we've been trying to do something, just a little something extra for the employees each day this week. The admin staff's been trying to serve them lunch each day so that we can recognize the job that they do. And as a coincidence, as it turns out this week, Davie County EMS received notice that they're being awarded the American Heart Association Gold Certification this year. This recognizes these guys as a leader in the care of cardiac and patients and the stroke patients. And just as one more note that goes with that, this is the 6th year in a row that these guys have they've received this award. So congratulations to the medics and the EMTs, and that's all I have for you today, Mr. Eller.
Thank you, Mr. Byrd. Ms. Wright beat me to that earlier, and we should be thanking you and the paramedics and all y'all do for us well more than one time a week, just like a lot of things. I know we just celebrated Nurses Week and Firemen's Week. I mean, the list goes on, but 1 week is definitely not enough appreciation for all that y'all do for us. And that 6th year in a row of that gold certification is a big deal. And we're very proud of you and your staff for achieving that. I think that sets us apart from many other EMSs across the state for that cardiac care service that you provide. So thank you, Mr. Byrd. We'll move on now to our 911 communications update from Mr. Rodney Pierce.
Thank you, Mr. Eller. I don't have any significant updates. Our call volume appears to be maintaining normal for this time. Just to remind the citizens, thank you for those that utilize the information phone numbers that's been displayed throughout the slides here. Dial 211 for basically any state organization questions. Very helpful for us. Maintain 911 for emergencies only. Our staff is standing by and ready to assist as needed. That's the significant update I have from 911 communications. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. As we tell all of you every week, we're looking for themes and for things that you may want to know more about. So if you want to submit your questions here, we have a link that you can type in your URL to get to on your computer, and we'll look for themes every week to try to address any of those concerns that anybody has or topics that you'd like us to talk about. I do appreciate the EOC members on this call and all they do for us each and every day. I also appreciate Ms. Taylor joining us today to talk a little bit about what Smart Start is doing in our community. Please pass this weekly update along to others so they can see the information in it. And if we can ever be of resource to anybody, please utilize the contact information that's in it to reach out to any of us. So again, our hearts and prayers go out to those who are impacted by COVID-19 right now, whether it's physical or financial. And we just, again, thank our community members for rallying around those in need right now. We will see you again next week for our next recording. And until then, thank you for all you do for Davie County.